Hi, Joe. Welcome to your diary entry and your final solo diary entry. This is a wrap-up episode and a bit of a teaser episode. Do you want to share a little more with our listeners?
Well, I feel that this has sort of we keep talking about how does this sort of evolve in and what does it look like when you are no longer doing a relocation? And so we sort of thought we should rejig what things look like season three of the podcast. And so yes, I guess we can do a wrap up of like I don't know. I feel like it's going to be one of those things, though, as soon as we start saying things like, okay, we're on to the next phase, something really ridiculous that was quite obviously part of like a relocation or something will happen. And then I'll be like, whoops.
That's all right. We can pick it up. We don't have to leave it all behind. But I think you're right. We feel like you have settled a bit into your new life now. We're not saying that it all happens as quickly as this. People move. It's all done. There's no things to iron out afterwards. In fact, the complete opposite. I think the experience of being an accompanying partner and moving and all the different challenges you have can last well past this initial phase. And so we want to transition into diving into that. And I guess recognizing both our experiences in that. So I've been in Singapore for 5 years. A lot of the stuff you've talked about in the first two seasons. So season one, that build up to the move to Bangkok and everything we followed along with that. And then season two, you actually hitting the ground and experiencing life in Bangkok. And now season three is, okay, you're there and things keep happening and you keep coming up with these challenges, which are quite unique to being an accompanying partner. So we want to bring both our perspectives to that. And that's what we're heading into in season three. But let's take a pause and just reflect on the fact that you have made this big move. You have been in Bangkok for how many weeks now?
Oh dear, maybe 3 months now.
Yeah, which is
Yesterday, maybe, I
a
feel.
really short time actually, but also quite a long time in terms of the things that you've covered, settling your kids into school and then now being on school holidays again, hosting visitors, finding your feet, finding your people. How are you feeling at this point?
Um, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good as the individual. I there are things that you know are like frustrating me in of like little things. Well, actually, I say little things, but they're not little things. They're big things. Like a big thing for me that we still haven't got sorted. One, because we've been busy and it has kept getting pushed down the priority list. And I'm not going to complain that it did because quite often it gets bumped for socializing. So I'm not going to get too down in the dumps about it. But is the financial side of things. I still don't have access to our bank accounts here in Thailand. So I don't have a card. I haven't got the bank's app on my phone. And in Thailand, they're very big on using a QR code that you need a Thai bank account to be able to pay from like the supermarket through to like a street vendor. Everyone pretty much takes a QR code or cash. And there's still just annoying things that I'm defaulting. Like I went on the train the other day and I'm using an Australian credit card to pay for my train ticket, like, which is just annoying. And I know that I really do want to delve into this more in season three because that financial dependency, like not only that you're not earning money, a lot of people when you're the accompanying partner, but just the actual physically being able to access it. Like I feel
Yeah.
like a child. Like Hugh has to go and get cash out from an ATM to give to me to function, to like buy groceries and to, heaven forbid, lash out and go and have like lunch with someone or things like this.
Yeah.
And it's not in any way that he's sort of keeping track on what I'm spending, but that's a real thing for some people. And it is a frustration of mine that is still existing. A massive perk here, though, is that the banks are open on the weekends. And so it literally is a matter of the two of us need to be in the same place at the same time with realistically probably 3 or 4 hours because everything sort of takes a long time to be able to just go and do it. But, he's about to go on 3 weeks work trip as well. And I was like, this has to happen before you go away. Like, I can't not have access to, funding life while I'm here. So, yeah, that's a annoying thing that I'm not feeling
It's
settled about.
annoying, and it's so much more than that for so many people. Like, you're in a relationship where there is mutual respect, equality, everything else. I think that financial abuse that so many people just fall into because of this is something that you and I are lucky not to experience, but it's really something I think we need to talk about. And we've got a whole lab in Alora on this topic where we're bringing in a financial planner to talk about this and how you can set yourself up. And so I think, yes, this is a topic we absolutely have to talk about. I'm glad it's just frustrating for you, but I acknowledge that it's a lot more than that for so many people.
Oh, 100%. And I think that this was a huge frustration for me when we were in Singapore as well. There was sort of workarounds that were just, it was never seamless. I never could just go into the bank and do things for myself. I've got a lot more, I guess, access to being able to do things here. Like, I was able to have my name put on the lease this time, but I don't know if I hadn't actively gone and asked the building manager to make sure my name was on it, if by default it had just been Hughes. And so just little things like that will give me a bit more leverage. And to be fair, I'm complaining about this, and I haven't actually once gone into any bank with my passport and my lease and my 5-year long-term stay visa in my passport and gone and actually tried to do this. So actually I shouldn't be poo-pooing it too much because I've just assumed that I need to go in and do this off the back of
Yeah,
Hughes. But
your experience in Singapore.
yeah, but like the thing is that like I could go and open another bank account and then I can't transfer any money into it anyway. So
Yeah, I know. And I mean, again, speaking to our privilege of the security of our relationships, I remember when we came here, I was like, great, I won't do any of the financial admin anymore. That's all your responsibility. And so like all the bills, all that stuff, I was like, can't have access. Thanks, you can do that. And I was like very happy to say goodbye to that mental load. But I you know, it's comes with a place of privilege that I'm able to say that.
but again, that in itself can be problematic. We talk about this moment in time where I'm in a safe, secure relationship and those sorts of things, but you know, I read a book with my new book club in here in Bangkok that was God, I can't even remember what it was called, but it was oh gosh, that's so bad. I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, but it was talking about that slow release of control, and not even control, but paying attention to the financials and just putting all of that trust and things while things are good into the partner's hands. And then, oh dear, all of a sudden there's an affair and he leaves you, but you've had absolutely no oversight for years and years and years as far as
Yeah.
what's going on financially. And I I'm finding it particularly challenging because that's actually me at home. My husband has no idea about where any of our money or any of the things are or who we're insured with or anything. Like, I run all of that. And so I think that amplifies my frustration with this when I'm then having to be like, oh, can you do this or send me the code to do this? And,
Yeah.
none of it is streamlined and it's clunky. And he's like, I'm in a meeting, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I need to pay the school fees because they've just called and we haven't paid them yet. So there's that frustration back
Yeah.
and forth. But I feel that while things are good, or, while the kids are little, or while we're moving, you can handball some of that, like, not just control, but just oversight of
Yeah.
financial things. And that, I feel, has some just red flags for people to
Oh,
be pondering.
completely. I think, yeah, I completely agree. And it's, I'm just thinking, yeah, you know this, but listeners don't. My husband's just had a little bit of a health thing that we've been going through. And it's been obviously not a great experience, but I've had to take on a lot in terms of, I do a lot in the household, but like managing the insurances and finances and stuff like that. And it is in those more crisis times, like you're very capable, you're able to do it. And so, like, staying on top of that maintenance wise is a good thing. And I guess we have that foundation of sharing information. So it's very easy and you can just swap roles like that, but you need to maintain it. Otherwise, those times happen and you're like, God, I don't know where anything is or what I should be doing in this situation. So I feel like it was a really good reminder of the importance of doing that.
Also, because it's not just relationship breakdown related, like it's emergency. My husband's in ICU and is
Yeah.
like literally unconscious, and I don't know who our insurance is with. I don't know who to tell the hospital. And in some places, they literally won't admit you without your paperwork. And if you don't
Yeah.
know where that is,
Yeah.
then you've got a genuine life or death situation, or you're not being able to access the best or all these options because you don't actually know where these things are. There is like a real importance for that sort of side of things as well.
Yeah, and I think I guess I'm just sharing that repositioning because I think it can often go to quite a dark place of like relationship breakdown and but there's actually other very valid reasons why you should stay on top of these things and it's not I don't think we're here saying while a lot of the things we talk about in terms of the experience of the accompanying partner is around the relationship and the taking on a lot both sides we're not we're not here to talk about relationship breakdowns being the result of it and there are ways to maintain it which we are also talking about in the lab.
Yeah. Yep. But I think like these things all compound. Spouse dissatisfaction is the number one reason a relocation fails, and this cumulative build up of things that might be just annoying things about not being able to access the things or not knowing where the insurance is, all those are the things that compound quite often in a throwing arms in the air and being like, I am done. Like, we are going home.
Yeah.
You can either finish this contract or I'm taking the kids and you stay here and finish it off and come home, or like all of those things. And that's when the employer is like, oh dear, we are not getting the best out of our talent here because it's miserable at home. It's not working at home. So yes, we are not talking about sort of the relationship specific things, but it definitely all comes together into that what can build that dissatisfaction side
Yeah.
of things.
A topic that we've dived into now, but we'll probably dive into again in season 3. But back to you. Any other reflections on this? I guess the move, the first 3 months. Anything you want to sort of take a moment to pause on?
I think that it's been really fast, but also feels like a long time. And I feel like this whole process has, like, I sort of think back to, I was on holidays down at the beach when we sort of got the news that this was all happening, and you were like, let's record this. And that feels like a lifetime ago, but also it's like 6 months ago, like the whole thing. And the fact that we've been here for half of that already is like a bit of a mind bend. But I'm just finding that the weeks are going so quickly here already. Like, the fact the kids have finished their first term of school already, like, we're done. They're now on 9 weeks of summer holidays. Thank goodness my parents are here and then are going to take them to Australia for a month, and I'll go and catch them for the last week of that in Australia. But my husband's also going travelling for work for 3 weeks, and I'm actually going to be here by myself, which
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
very excited about.
I just like can't imagine having my whole place to myself.
I haven't done this. My eldest is like 12 and a half. I literally haven't had time by myself in 12 and a half years.
Oh my gosh, I feel like that's a whole podcast in itself. How does Jo feel at her time? 3 weeks. What are you gonna do?
Maybe I can do a little evening vlog each day, and everyone will be like, "Oh God, this is one way to really make us hate her." I know I'm going to miss everyone, but I also am a bit like, I there's so many hours in the day to like do all of the things, and
Yeah.
then still have time. Like,
Yep. Oh, that's amazing.
I know, so I'm very excited. So yes, it's been a real time warp for me, is probably the biggest reflection. But then I sort of I think I've been trying to reflect on how long it took me in Singapore to feel sorted. I reflect back on those really early years, like, when we first moved to Scotland with Hugh's first rugby contract. I was like, felt at home week two. I was like, cool, this is where we live now, and was just rolling into it. Singapore, I can't remember already. And then
Yeah.
this already is like, I've got mates that already just text and said, oh, I'm coming down to your street. Do you want a coffee? Or, we've made friends with the neighbours that we're having over for dinner and things. And, there's a family upstairs who have got three girls that are a bit younger than mine, who were already like, my girls are growing out of clothes already since we've arrived here, which is crazy. And I'm already sending like, football boots and clothes that mine have grown out of up to these three girls upstairs who are just loving
So
it. And
nice.
yeah. So I don't know. I sort of feel like we've slotted in probably even quicker this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel I'm. It's going to be a bit interesting because we've got this huge big break now. We moved at the end of the break last time, so that the kids started school in the Northern Hemisphere like August when we moved to Singapore. And so because we came at that random time, like April, so for term four, and now they're on a break, like I feel like, and because I'm from, the Southern Hemisphere, so I run on a calendar year. So this is just sort of bending my brain as it is having summer in the middle of the year anyway. So there's a fair bit of that, but I don't know. I'm pretty impressed with the whole thing. I'm pretty impressed with how everything has sort of panned out. It has definitely been like a net positive. There's just definitely been the ups and downs, but actually, do you know what I haven't done in ages, and I can wrap up with this. I still haven't given you a house update for a
Oh my
while.
gosh, yes.
So it's still sitting there empty.
Oh no.
But hopefully, although it's Thursday, I was going to say hopefully by this week we'll have a lease signed. Still
Well,
don't have a lease signed.
that's a positive way to end in terms of your time in Australia, and we know that's been a massive thing that you've had to work through, and we've been along on the journey. So fingers and toes that all works out. And in terms of what's ahead, so we are going to be switching things up in season 3 and diving a bit more into specific topics each episode. So these first 2 seasons have very much been reflective, but also in the moment. And I think that's been really wonderful to have that unfiltered view of what it's like to actually do a move, and such a wonderful resource for people in the future. Going forward, we would be much more diving into topics and both sharing our perspectives around what that looks like. And so we have some ideas, but of course, always love to hear from listeners about what they want to hear more of as well. So we'll be welcoming that as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I am quite excited about not being the total focus every time. So I'm very excited about like maybe we can maybe we take it in turns each week of hosting, and so each episode, so that we're sharing the load. And I just want to acknowledge I'm so impressed with your new like life skill as podcast host. You've been an amazing host over 2 seasons. Very well done.
Thanks, Joe. Might not be as great as you in the sharing, but we'll see. We'll see how we go.
Well, I don't know. We should call you the crying coach. Come
Yeah,
on, let's get some tears. Let's get some real emotion into this. So this
make
maybe
some
will
good
be,
content.
yeah, maybe this will be my challenge for season three is how many times I can get Emma to cry in an episode.
I'm sure that's like way easier than you.
I don't know. I don't know. But if that's anything that people have come to know, I this is probably I've probably never been this emotional in my life, and we've managed to capture it on video and audio.
Well, thank you. I feel like that's the thing that's made it so engaging for our members who have heard all this first and now a wider audience because you have been able to share everything that you've gone through along the way. And I don't think that's really something that people do, especially this experience as an accompanying partner. I know for myself, it's not something I shared openly with my friends or family at the time. I just sort of got in and got through it. And so being able to hear you and your experience in real time is such an amazing gift for so many people. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I also, that always needs to be given with like a caveat. I'm self-aware enough to know that this is definitely not going to be the journey that a lot of people go along. I think there is far less people in the world that love change like I do. So I know that the perpetual optimist in most of these episodes can be a bit of a tough pill to swallow for people that really are having a tough time with this. So I want to thank you for saying that. I'm always more than happy to share. People that know me personally know I'm an oversharer and have been since I was probably 8 years old. But I really do want to acknowledge that this is tough. Like, this is so tough, and it's so tough for people in different situations who are going to different places, who come from different social backgrounds, different financial demographics, different sort of relationship status and equality within those relationships. Like, there is so many different moving parts to this, and like, you've got a very small snapshot into what it looks like for a very privileged white middle class woman from Australia doing this into, like an
Yeah.
expat city. I know this looks so different for rural people, for medical spouses, for like defence spouses, for families that are sort of accompanying partners but accompanying in different countries because their partner is in a war zone or in all of these different aspects of it. But I hope that there has been at least some takeaways or gold nuggets that people have been able to pull out of it, seeing it just from one point of view. But this is why we did it. Like, there's very little that we've been able to find out there that is not that rose-tinted glasses reflection of something like this, and doing it real time has definitely been very interesting I think for both of us, speaking on your behalf, but it's been pretty cathartic for me as well, being able to almost have my my free session, my free therapy session with my business partner that other people just happen to get to watch or listen in on, has been really, really interesting. So thanks for suggesting it, and thanks for powering the whole thing. It's been awesome.
Therapist, podcast host. We'll see what we add in season 3, but really looking forward to coming back and trying something new next season. Thanks so
Sounds
much,
good.
Joe.
Sounds good. Bye.